Today I've got lots of updates for you with our onboard experience here on the Sapphire Princess to Alaska. I'm also going to share with you the excursion that we did in Ketchikan, so let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips, and the date is Tuesday. It is May 20th of 2025, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, will you please go ahead and click on that subscribe button, and if you appreciate my updates, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so very much. So as I'm asking you all to subscribe and give us a thumbs up, I want to thank everyone who has subscribed to our channel, who follows along and is here with us. We just hit 27,000 subscribers. It is a huge accomplishment, such a milestone for us, and I very much appreciate all of your support. If it weren't for all of you, we wouldn't be here. You all are what makes it fun, and it's a really special thing to get to talk about cruising together. And as I get to meet some of you and have the opportunity to visit with you in the comments or via email, I want you to know that you're wonderful and we really appreciate you. So thank you. We are upward. We're looking at the next milestone. We'd really love to get to 30,000 by the time we get off the ship. I don't know how realistic this is, but you know what? If you don't set goals, you never accomplish goals. So we're on our way, so be sure to hit that subscribe button. Well, I wanted to bring you up to date with how everything has been going here on the Sapphire Princess. We have been doing live sailaways. We had one as we left Vancouver on Saturday, and then today as we left Ketchikan. Right now it's in the evening, so I'm doing this video for you for Tuesday. I wanted to bring up and send my condolences to the family of the captain of the Diamond Princess. I admit I don't know how to pronounce his name correctly, but I would say it's probably Michael Bartolome. He was the captain of the Diamond Princess, and he passed away very unexpectedly at the helm of the Diamond Princess. He was the captain when he passed away, and so the first officer there on the Diamond Princess has taken over. And it's just really important that we send our prayers and condolences to his family and keep them in our prayers, as well as the Princess family, because I do love that Princess, their employees, their crew members are a really close-knit family. And it's a really sad situation. And so I wanted to share that with you and remind us all, like I said, to keep their family in our thoughts and prayers. So on to better news. Things are going really well here on the Sapphire Princess. The Sapphire Princess is an extraordinarily beautiful ship. She is different. She's very unique than any other ship in the fleet, and I love that about her. And the things that are unique also are part of what make her really special. So if you've been following along here, or you are going to be joining us for our Antarctica group cruise in January, this is the actual ship that we'll be sailing on. And as we go around, I kind of keep that in the back of my mind. It's one thing to really enjoy a ship for 7 days. It's a whole other thing to want to take a voyage down to the end of the world and spend 17 days on a ship. And this is going to be the perfect ship to do it on. It really is. We've got Skywalkers, we've got the Piazza. They've been doing excellent music in Club Fusion and in the Wheelhouse Bar. There's crooners. Every evening there's a pianist there singing songs for everyone. So much going on, and they do a really, really good job. I love the way they've got an indoor pool and an outdoor pool, and then the aft pools as well. Just so many areas of the ship to enjoy whatever it is that you really enjoy. I noticed that there are people that are enjoying the hot tubs in the back of the ship. That's where I've noticed them the most. But it's a really fantastic cruise to take, a really fantastic ship to take a cruise on, whether you're going to Alaska, around the Caribbean, Europe, down to South America and Antarctica, up to Norway, wherever it is that you're going. This is a really great ship. So if you happen to have a cruise booked on the Sapphire Princess, let us know any questions that you have. Pop them in the comments and we'll be sure to answer them. We are going to do a ship tour while we're here so that we can share that with you. But you can be glad if you've got a sailing booked on the Sapphire Princess. Like I mentioned, she's going to be going into dry dock at the end of September, beginning of October. And so they'll spruce her up a bit. And I mentioned in my video yesterday that it is not quite exactly really handy for someone that uses a scooter or a wheelchair. I wasn't saying that. I feel like it's important to note to discourage anyone from sailing on this ship. Just a heads up, if you are looking at what ship to sail on, until they make those changes, it doesn't mean it's impossible. but it means that if you're by yourself, you'll have to look for a little bit of help getting in and out of some doors and things like that, but it's a beautiful ship. So next, alrighty, let's talk about the excursion that we took today. So if you've been following along, we signed up in Ketchikan to go on the Deadliest Catch excursion. I was a little bit worried about it because when you watch the Deadliest Catch TV show, it's always kind of scary and so many, it's very risky, a lot of waves. So I was worried about how that was going to translate into an excursion. And let me tell you, I am going to recommend it with flying colors. If you go to Ketchikan and you have not done the Deadliest Catch excursion yet, it was phenomenal. So you get on the boat. The boat that we were on actually was a fishing vessel. It's called the Aleutian Ballad, and it's right there by where the ship's docked there in Ketchikan. So you get on board, and they've got a captain, and then they've got a couple of other gentlemen. One is an engineer, and the other one, what does the other guy do? He's just there working hard too. But they used to be fishermen in the Bering Sea, the captain and the two gentlemen working. And then they've got a couple of young ladies that work there who live in Ketchikan, and they help with, some of the fish things, and also in the little gift shop and snack bar. And so as the time went on, they shared some of their experiences as fishermen and long linemen and all of the different kind of things that they did. But they also shared how they came to be in it. They shared so much about the wildlife. One thing that they don't advertise is I have never seen so many eagles in one place at one time as we saw on that excursion. It's absolutely phenomenal. And so that's a really splendid part of it, but we also got to see lots of crab. We got to see some of the starfish. We got to hold Gordon held a sea urchin. We got to hold some of the different kinds of crab. They treat them very carefully, so don't worry. They had some of the prawns and all of these different things that you got to see, and it was absolutely phenomenal. And they take you, so as you're looking at Ketchikan, like you're looking at it like you're on a ship, they take you down to the in the direction of the right hand direction, and then take you around the corner a little bit, so you're not right where the ships always go. So you get to see a little bit more original scenery on the way back. Of course, we noticed that we were sailing past that Totem Bright park there where they have the totem poles. We just had such a marvelous time, and it was even raining a little bit. They've got stadium seating set up on the boat so that you have somewhere to sit. It's covered mostly, and then you can go up on the top deck as well. It was absolutely phenomenal, and I just wanted you to know that if you're looking for an excursion to do in Ketchikan, that is a really good one. And if you're someone who actually wants to fish, you can also fish. They do salmon fishing and halibut fishing there, from not on the Deadliest Catch excursion, but on a separate excursion. If fishing is your thing, you can also do that. But I cannot recommend it enough. On a I give them 5 out of 5 stars, 7 out of 5 stars. It was really that good. And so I just wanted to let you know that, because a lot of times you look up cruise ship excursions and there's not a lot of reviews on them, so you don't know what to expect. And so we're going to share a lot of our footage from that here after I get done talking, so follow along, and if you ever get to go on that excursion, you'll know what to expect. And if you don't get to go, come along with us today.
Aleutian Valley, the only place you can do it. You folks down here are going to go up those stairs. Either side of the wheelhouse is a little flight of stairs leading to the lower deck. On that lower deck, on the handrail, you'll see 2 canisters with little red caps. That's for those cigarette butts. We don't want anything going over the side of the boat. We do recognize vaping as one of the same gas, so you can take that there as well. Cell phones are incredible cameras, have them ready. We do ask that you silence them so we're not talking over each other. You need to take or make a call, by all means. Just remove yourself from the crowd so we're not repeating. Restrooms, there's free restrooms right up forward here. There are none up above. And get behind this get behind this stadium seating. You see that galley side above the door. Go into that galley, because you're going to be up and around, you're going to be all over this boat. You go through that galley door, on your right shoulder, there's a TV monitor. And on that TV monitor, there's a 4.5-minute DVD looping of the very boat that you're on when it got hit in season 2 of Deadliest Catch. most requested video of that TV show. It's the boat that you're on today. That is crazy. Also back there we got a book. I'm going to plug the book simply because it edifies your trip today. It's a great coffee table piece, and it does have more detail of where we're going and what we've been doing over the last 19 years. We have permission to be where we're headed to the Dead Island that's home to the Simpsons. If we worked out a deal with them because they have sovereign water around their island that allows us to do what we're doing with you guys. We said, you know what? Respect our land, respect our wildlife, we'll see how this goes. We've been doing it for 19 years, so I think that speaks volumes of the crew and this boat. Also back there in the galley, you can purchase guaranteed red crab, king crab. It's already split in half. Got a little thing of melted butter. It's all ready to go. £1 pound, £1 pound box. I just ask that you don't eat it right in front of you. Who knows what this is? The what? Aha! What's your name? Jeanette? Okay, here's the deal, Jeanette. You guys are gonna come up here. You're gonna get your hip against the rail. You're gonna give me your best Deadliest Catch photo, right? Don't throw it, Jeanette. It's just a photo op. Right? Like I said, this is generationally taught. And so those juveniles, we root for them because they got to get this figured out before winter comes.
Anybody got a count yet?
Like I said, there's only 2 or 3 mated bears that reside here all year. You come here in the second week of October, most of these birds will be up the river.
Oh. They don't necessarily like each other, but they are good. There's a lot of feathers. Keep them down. enemy is an eagle. Actually, that's their main predator. They will eat each other, try to get hard. Actually, they'll, you know, the crows don't bother them that much. They just clean up after them. I mean, if it gets, when times get tough, I'm sure they're going to eat a crow. I've seen one take a seagull out of the air.
Oh,
Look at that.
look at them all perched in there.
Yeah,
though.
wild. Does anybody know what they call a large gathering of eagles?
At Congress.
Nope.
Sounds good to me.
I would not feel too bad. I've never heard anyone get it. It's called a convocation.
Okay.
Convocation.
Thanks, guys.
Got to do a little work here.
I'll do it, easy. All right, we're gonna get the chains back up.
I don't know, Cap. We might have to go grab it pretty soon. They're eating out of house and home here.
Well, we are on the Buried Seed Craft Tour, but how about that for a little eagle show, folks?
And again, that's not because of us. We're blessed to do that. That is because of the Eagle Clan, Cynthia and Tree that let us do that. Their village is about 12 miles.
Anybody got a count cat?
Like I said, there's only 2 or 3 mated pairs that reside here all year. You come here in second week of October, most of these birds will be up the river.
Whoa!
Wow.
They don't necessarily like each other. But they are good. There's a lot of feathers. Keep them down. No, their worst enemy is the, actually, that's their main predator. They will eat each other, trying to get hard. Actually, they'll, you know, the crows don't bother them that much. They just clean up after them. I mean, it gets, when times get tough.
Which is a good thing too. Realize they're not. Yeah, so it's gonna give you
They're primarily fishers. Largest part of their diet is fish, but they will scavenge the beach if they find a dead seal, maybe a deer carcass in the woods from a bear kill or wolf kill. They'll do whatever it takes to survive. Like Big D said, gets tough enough in the winter, they will turn on each other. They're not designed to be a water bird, but they can swim. If they get into something that's too big to lift out of the water, they'll paddle to the beach with those wings. It's not real graceful, but it is effective. The state of Washington, a tree blew over that had an eagle's nest in it. Forestry Department got permission to go get it for educational purposes. When they got to it, it was 13 feet across, 9 feet deep. They're caught in a trap, and they still walk out.
All right, and what we have in that trap, for the most part, are box king crab. EOX. They're really closely related to the king crab. They're part of the king crab family. They taste just like king crab, and they're really hard to catch. I mean, they are so hard to catch that there is no market for them. Nobody can catch enough to sustain them. So they're just basically bycatch. But that doesn't diminish me. I think they're the coolest crabs we catch. I mean, they're like little transformers. When they're closed up, they look like a rock. They open up, Optimus Prime. And when you guys hold them, you're going to put a couple fingers right down here on their belly pan, thumb on their back, and just hold them like a sandwich. Check them out. They're a pretty fun thing.
Okay, what I'm holding here, Paradise Tanner crab. You know them as snow crab. You're going to hold them right on the ends of his legs, just like this, gently. Just like a bicycle, okay? Don't go after him like big beast crab. It will come down and find you. He gets a hold of you, don't jerk your finger out. It's serrated. It will cut you. You just need to grin and bear it. Yeah, you bear it, I'll be grinning. But we're going to get the change down. Feel free to come out here. We're going to come around to you. Girls have got the crab, he's got the crab.
All right, you see Andy just threw a coil of line up on that pot. That pot's going over first, and he has to manhandle this line over in a reasonable fashion. That line on top of that pot gives him because of the pot.
Ready, go ahead, let her go.
We're ready. You ready, Andy?
I am.
Going over.
Last time.
This makes some pretty good shot to do when he's throwing that line.
Oh, it's okay. No worries. Don't limit the calories. Might be to send you the ones I have.
All right, here comes the action shot. You get it? The species that we target up here. There's red king crab, blue king crab, gold king crab. Only two things differ when you target these animals. One of them's the depth of water. The other's the type of bottom. You're going to very habitat specific. You go looking for their habitat. Red king crab, 42 fathoms, you're going to start out. It's 6 feet to a fathom. You're looking for a soft bottom, muddy, sandy bottom. Blue king crab, a little less salinity, gravelly bottom. There's some islands up in the Bering Sea that host those conditions. That's where you go looking for them. These guys will start at 700-800 feet. We'll go upwards of 2,000 feet looking for these things. They're very slow fishing. You have to be patient to catch these things. Now, once you get them back to the boat, they do have to be a male for us to commercially retain them. You're going to tell by the abdominal flap. The fact that that comes to a point tells me that it's a male. Female is very distinct. What it looks like a fan. The reason she has that, she has a clutch of eggs underneath there. She's protected. Upwards of 250,000 eggs on one of those females. And with all the females out there, why is it the ocean just sick with these things? Because less than 1/10 of 1% survive. When they hatch, they're microscopic. They don't even resemble a crab. Everything down there's eaten. Now, take the biomass of the female very serious because of that. Our gear is actually set up that we handle as little as possible. But if you should have one in your tank by accident, Fish and Game is going to give you a fine. We don't want you messing around with it. All right, you get it back to the boat. They do have to be a male. They have to be a specific size. You see the men run over there when they dump that pot on the table. They're throwing them overboard. They're throwing them in the tank. Years of experience. They got an eye for the obvious. But you always got a handful you're not sure of. And that's when you grab that stick. Anywhere you can get that stick to touch, coming across that back, makes him legal. And you better pay attention. Because the crab that fits inside this is worth over $100. So you don't want to be throwing $100 bills overboard. You don't want to be so cocky that you think you know what a legal crab looks like and you start throwing shorts in the tank. They get a hold of those, you're going to get fined. All right. What do you think, Captain?
Yeah, we got a little bit.
All right. Well, people always ask me who their predators are for king crab. And for the most part, it's eels and octopus. And octopus wins, hands down. They love king crab and they will eat it. Now, say this guy's swimming along or running along or whatever he does down there and an octopus grabs his leg. He has a pretty interesting feature. He can what we call kick that leg. He just
All right, guys, 750 pounds. Two 20-year-old kids at this rail. It's blowing 40 miles an hour, 20-foot seas. You've got to be on your A game. You see how that thing's swinging across there? You screw up, you'll lose a finger. Now, one of the things we do, you have 200 of these on your bigger boat. You set half of them. That might take 10, 12 hours. They were there last year, doesn't mean they're there this year. We pull this up after 10 hours, we call it spot checking. The whole crew is ecstatic. I've got 3 riders headed in my tunnel. Big D's got 2 riders. There's a half dozen crab in there. We call them riders because they're not even inside yet. They held on all the way up from the bottom. They want in there. They're on the bite. We're going to check a couple more. We think the best signs to the west. We'll take the rest of those pots, set them to the west, anticipating that that school's going to come through our gear. We start hauling in 30, 40 hours. We could have as many as a 70 average. Now, that doesn't happen all the time. That's the pinnacle. Because if you have 200 pots on that kind of fishing, and they're worth over $100 a piece, you know what that is? Yeah, you're caught up on your alimony.
all right. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to drop that down on those 2 hooks on the bottom of that line. That's going to stabilize the bottom of that pot. But now I have to stabilize the top. And I'm going to use what we call dog. It's just 2 metal hooks that come in and center that thing and hold it tight to the top. Now I'm free to move it around. I've got to pick it up flat. Once I do this, 2 guys are going to wheel a table right underneath here. A couple guys are going to undo these straps. They're going to flip this door up. Now the crabs are ready to come out. And the way I get them out is I'm just going to dump them. And now I shake the handle until they all fall out into that table. We're golden. And I just drop it back down. The guy reaches in there, crawls in there, whatever it takes, gets those baiters out, hangs 2 new ones in there and some fish. He comes back out, they close the trap, and it's ready to go. I mean, it does not spend much time on this rack at all. Most of the time it's hauling line. Yeah, it's pretty simple. But there's some critical points. If I forget one thing, it goes bad quickly. If I forget to put these dogs on, even here where it's flat, if I shake that handle, this thing's jumping off and hit that rack and go down. Now, if I'm in the Bering Sea, that rack's not there. This boat's pitching side to side. We got waves going over. You don't put the dogs on there, you got 750 pounds of anchor steel going right into that wall over there. And it's going to take everything out between here and there. And everybody who's been there has seen it. You just don't want to see it very often. You gotta pay attention and you gotta be communicative. People have to know what you're doing when you're standing over here.
Yeah,
I'm going down.
the Hydro guy's very vocal about what he's doing. Okay, these things, they're worth a lot of money. We don't want to lose them. It does happen. Boats will run over them at night. They didn't see the buoy, they cut it off. The ice comes down, grabs our buoys, takes them off into the deep. We never see them again. We don't want them down there what they call ghost fishing. This is nylon web, not going anywhere soon. We cut an 18-inch hole in that pot deliberately, and we sew it up with biodegradable cotton. It's figured out on a tensile strength and a diameter that it rots out in 35, 40 days. So that thing's not down there ghost fishing. It's just a reef at that point for little critters to grow on.
Thanks, guys. You know, we're in trouble in the Bering Sea. For those of you who've been watching the show, there's not much of crab season going on. Codfish, to me, is the most carnivorous fish in the ocean. They used to come from the Gulf of Alaska, enter the Bering Sea, hit that cold water, turn around and go back into the Gulf. Bering Sea's warmed up 3 to 4 degrees. That's all it took. Codfish, they're coming into the Bering Sea by the millions. They're not turning around and going back. They're finding codfish farther north than they've ever found them before. Big tender processors are having some of their best fishing.
So thanks so much for following along. Thanks for joining us. I look forward to hearing your questions and reading your comments. So thank you so very much for your wonderful support and for being here with us. I'll be talking to y'all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.